Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Sunday. Let's get into our study group for warriors. Go check out my website at skyazrael.com if you want life coaching and mentoring. Welcome to the new subscribers. Every Sunday we do this. For my hardcore heads, I just go through some of my notes, read through some of the stuff that I've been thinking about during the week, try to hash it out with you guys, give you something extra to think about for the day. Not everybody needs extra lessons on Sundays, on this seventh day, this day of rest. Maybe you just want to go back to sleep. Some of us are up and we're doing it. Mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. I coach this kind of program. It saved my life. That's why I do it. Let's just get into this. I'm going to talk about love. I'm going to talk about God. Talk a little bit about psychology. So let's just get down with this stuff. Where do I start? I have 3 pages of notes. I guess we start at the beginning. Let's do a little bit of God talk first. Doesn't matter if you're Christian, Muslim, or Jew. There's only one God. So listen up. Here's a rule. God gets angry at betrayal. Betrayal is really shaky ground. If you betray somebody, this is a sin that will stay with you forever. Do not betray people. If you have been betrayed, you don't need revenge. I know you want it. That's such a good time for revenge, isn't it? When you've been betrayed and you're like, oh, I'll show you. Hold back. God is watching, and he can't stand betrayal. He's sitting up there like, oh, hell no. Oh, no, he didn't. He will have your back. Karma will come. God gets real pissed off at betrayal, whether it's in the animal world or in the human world. Betrayal is not cool. So if you've been betrayed, just sit back with a smile on your face and know that your big homie got your back. This is the one thing that makes the big homie really fucking aggravated. Let's talk a little bit more about God. You might pray. You should. What is prayer? It's basically an imaginary conversation you have in your head with an imaginary character that you've created in your head. I'm just being honest. Right? Where's God? You go to a mountaintop and you can talk to him, but you're still just talking to yourself inside your head. But that's where God exists. We're not really sure what's going on here. We might be in the Matrix. Our brains are kind of like these organic computers. And the designer of those computers, the operator of those computers, may have a presence inside there. Some people have a connection with God and they feel him. You can't shake that out of them and say, you're just a crazy person talking to yourself. They'll look at you like you're crazy. I've had some weird experiences before where I have prayed and the exact thing I prayed for happened immediately, right afterwards. It's hard to deny that there's a connection when that shit happens, especially when it happens over again and over again, and you're like, well, wait a minute, man, this is just too much of a coincidence. One of the tricks with this, though, when you're talking to God inside your head, when you're praying, is to be yourself. To be the rawest, most unfiltered version of you. You don't want to put up any acts or fronts, put on any masks, put on any personas in front of God. That's an embarrassment to you. He'll see right through it. But most importantly, don't change how you talk. Talk to God in your own language. If you curse, curse. If you talk in street slang and that's your thing, talk in street slang to God. He will understand it. He understands it. Let's go to the next one. We're still talking about God. God blesses people who are authentic. See, that's kind of connected to the last one. Are you afraid to be who you really are? A lot of people are. A lot of people are kind of hiding who they really are, their true spirit, in order for acceptance. I used to do this out in the streets. I kind of acted like a certain type of person when I knew deep, deep, deep down inside me that I was a fish out of water. Or I might have appeared to be a hardcore motherfucker from the hood, and I was. I didn't commute to the ghetto. Some people commute from whatever neighborhood they live in down to the hood. It's so weird. But deep down inside, I wasn't one of them. And I pretended to be one of them, to be accepted. I pretended to be one of them because I felt like my survival depended upon it. I was afraid to be who I really was because that might appear to be soft or silly. You got to be hard and serious. Whoever you are inside of you, let that out before you die. Show up to life as who you really are. Show up to this party in your true form at least once before you die. I'll talk a little bit about myself. Maybe you can relate. Some psychology. We may go back to God. I don't know what happens in the next page of notes, but we'll see how far this goes. You know, it's interesting. I realize this about myself, that I give up on people too easily. And that's a flaw that I have. I've dumped women for almost no reason. You piss me off, you're gone. Bye, see ya. Gone. And she'll just be sitting there like, are you serious? Oh, I'm as serious as a heart attack. You fuck out of here. Go. You're gone. And I never talk to him again. I'm not calling back after a week and say, oh, baby, I was wrong. Gone. Forever. I can do this to you. I could do this to anyone. Family, friends, anyone. I could cut you off. Gone. I will never think about you again. It's so easy for me. My brother has come at me sideways for this a couple times and been like, why do you do this, man? It's just, I don't know why. And the funny thing about it is, I know it's a flaw. I know it's not the best way to be. I should give people more chances because I wish that people would give me more chances. I give up on people so easily, an X amount of my life as if it's a survival skill. When I, at the same time, I'm asking people to give me another chance, to accept me for who I am now. I'm not the person I used to be. Give me another chance. Let me prove myself as a good person. When if you fuck up once, you're so done. You're gone. Fuck you forever. I've damned you to hell. I know it's a double standard and it's a flaw. Maybe you do this too. Why do we do stuff like this? Here's another one. Another psychological issue that I work with. Stop making man, I put man in parentheses, humans. Stop making man your God. I've done that. We all have. You know, everyone told me I was a certain type of person. And I believed them. For most of my youth and being a young adult, people told me that I was bad and stupid. I mean, I could give a long list of what people said about me, but that's what it boils down to. That I was a bad person and that I was a stupid person. I've had people be much more articulate than that, much more pointed with their spears and really call me names, and I believe them. I believed them. My ex called me these things. I believed her. My family called me these things. I believed them. I've had friends that I've lost that have called me these things, teachers, cops, judges, authority figures. I believed them on every turn. At a certain point, I was able to change. And people are always fascinated with that. Like, how did you change? How did you change? I changed when I stopped believing others' opinions of me. It's that simple. I stopped believing that story that you told me. You may think I'm bad and stupid, but I'm not. You just don't even know me. Let's go on to the next one. It's about genetics. You are born with genetics, your genes, from your mother and your father. Everything from your hair color to your personality type to your anger issues, your depression, your anxiety, the way that you walk. I met my father for the first time when I was 15. I hadn't met him before that. I had lived with him until I was about 4 years old, but as a 3 or a 4-year-old, when my mom took me away from my dad, I had no memory of him. By the time I was 8 or 9 or 10 years old, by the time I was 13 or 14, I didn't know what my dad looked like. There was no pictures in the house. I didn't know who he was. I had no idea. Just some mystery man. Finally met him. That's a whole other story. Take me a long time to talk about, is how I got about to meet him. Nobody in my family wanted me to know who my dad was. My dad had to sneak his way into my life with a fake name and everything. It was a funny story. When I met him face to face for the first time when I was 16, we talked the same. We walk the same. We had the same chuckle, the same laugh. Stuff that you think nature versus nurture, the stuff that you think that is learned and that you can only get through learning, through being around others. That's genetic. It's genetic. Genetics are a curse sometimes. I was born with dyslexia because my father had dyslexia. I was born with all kinds of problems that people relentlessly pointed out to me for my whole life. You're this way and you can't change it. You're this way because you're born this way. Well, I want to tell you this, and this is the truth. You are who God intended you to be, flaws and all. Do not try to change yourself. If you're unhappy with yourself, you're unhappy with God. You need to come to peace with the creation that you are. Don't try to change who God created. Don't try to change yourself from a man to a woman. It's a sin. You're going directly against God's creation. You're destroying God's creation. He cries when you destroy his creations. It's a betrayal. And God doesn't like betrayal.